Perfect. A deep, detailed, and very simple summary of everything in the passage and the explanation. I'll make it like the world's best study notes, so you can quickly revise and also understand every part in depth. Detailed summary of fundamental rights from the given passage. 1. Where fundamental rights are found, they are written enshrined in Part 3 of the Indian Constitution. They are given in Articles 12 to 35. They are inspired by the U.S. Constitution's Bill of Rights, but made longer and more detailed for India. Number 2. Why they are so important. Part 3 is called the Magna Carta of India. Just like Magna Carta protected people from cruel kings in England, these rights protect Indians from unfair government actions. India's list of fundamental rights is one of the longest and most detailed in the world, even more detailed than the USA's list. 3. What fundamental rights promise? They are guaranteed by the Constitution. Very strong promise, not just ordinary rules. They apply to all persons, not just citizens in every case. They are given without discrimination, no unfair treatment based on caste, religion, race, sex, or place of birth. They protect 1. Equality of all individuals, everyone treated the same by law. 2. Dignity of the individual, respect and self-worth for every person. 3. Larger public interest, rights should help society as a whole, not just one person. 4. Unity of the nation, rights keep the country together, not divided. Number 4. Purpose of fundamental rights, to promote political democracy, not just voting, but also real freedoms like speaking, protesting, or forming groups. To prevent authoritarian despotic rule, stop any ruler from becoming a dictator. To protect liberties and freedoms, safeguard free speech, religion, movement, education, etc. To limit government power, stops executive, government and police from using power cruelly, stops legislature, parliament, state assemblies from making unfair or random, arbitrary laws. In short, they make sure India is run by laws, not by one person's will. Nature of fundamental rights, justiciable. You can go to a court if your rights are broken. Judges can force the government or others to stop violating your rights. Not absolute. Rights can have reasonable restrictions, like limits for public safety, security, or order. Example, free speech doesn't allow spreading hate or causing riots. Protected by courts. Courts can issue writs, special orders, like habeas corpus, mandamus, etc. to enforce rights. Number 6. Types of fundamental rights, easy list with meaning. 1. Right to equality, Articles 14 to 18. Equal before law, no discrimination, equal job opportunities, no untouchability, no special titles. 2. Right to freedom, Articles 19 to 22. Free speech, movement, assembly, profession, and protection against unfair arrest. 3. Right against exploitation, Articles 23-24, no forced labor, no human trafficking, no child labor in dangerous jobs. 4. Right to freedom of religion, Articles 25 to 28, choose, practice, and spread religion freely. Cultural and educational rights, Articles 29 to 30, protect language, culture, and allow minorities to run schools. 6. Right to consummatives, Article 32, if rights are broken, go directly to Supreme Court or High Courts. Number 7. Examples. To understand better. If the government bans a newspaper for criticizing it, violates right to freedom of speech. If a school refuses admission because of caste, violates right to equality. If a child is forced to work in a factory, violates right against exploitation. If the government forces everyone to follow one religion, violates right to freedom of religion. If someone is arrested without reason and not shown to court, violates right to constitutional remedies. 8. Why they are called the heart of the Constitution. They protect people from government misuse. They give meaning to democracy because democracy without rights is fake. They create balance between individual freedom and society's needs. They ensure rule of law. Everyone, even leaders, must obey the Constitution. Ultra simple final recap. Fundamental rights equals basic freedoms promised by Constitution, Articles 12 to 35. Inspired by USA, but India's list is longer and stronger. They protect equality, dignity, public interest, and unity. They stop dictatorship, protect democracy, and limit government powers. They are enforceable by courts, but have reasonable limits. 6 groups of rights: equality, freedom, against exploitation, religion, culture, education, remedies. If you keep only one line in mind, remember this. Fundamental rights are India's strongest shield for people, ensuring everyone is treated fairly. Rulers cannot misuse power, and democracy stays alive. Would you like me to now make a one-page visual-style cheat sheet, bullets plus keywords plus examples that you can revise in 2 minutes before exams? Perfect. You want a one-page, world-best cheat sheet of fundamental rights, short, crisp, with keywords, dates, and no important missed. Here it is. Fundamental Rights Cheat Sheet, Part 3, Articles 12 to 35. Why called fundamental? Guaranteed and protected by the Constitution. Law. Essential for all-round growth, material, intellectual, moral, spiritual. Enforceable by courts, SB Supreme Court under Art 32. Originally 7 fundamental rights, 1950. 1. Right to equality, Art 14 to 18. Equal before law, Art 14. No discrimination, Art 15. Equality in jobs, Art 16. Abolition of untouchability, Art 17. Abolition of titles, Art 18. 2. Right to freedom, Art 1922. Art 19. 6 freedoms, speech, assembly, association, movement, residence, profession. Art 20. Protection in criminal cases. Art 21. Right to life and liberty, expanded by SC to include right to privacy, clean environment, etc. Art 22. Protection of arrested persons. 3. Right against exploitation. Art 23 to 24. Ban on human trafficking, forced labor, Art 23. Ban on child labor in hazardous jobs, Art 24. 4. Right to freedom of religion, Art 25 to 28. Freedom of conscience and religion, Art 25. Manage religious affairs, Art 26. Freedom from forced taxes for religion, Art 27. No religious instruction in JUVed schools, Art 28. 5. Cultural and educational rights, Art 29 to 30. Protect language, script, culture, Art 29. Minorities can run own schools, Art 30. 6. Right to property, Art 31, deleted by 44th Amendment, 1978. Now legal right under Art 300A, Part 12. 7. Right to constitutional remedies, Art 32, Heart and Soul of Constitution, Ambedkar. Supreme Court can issue writs, habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, quo warranto. Present status, after 44th Amendment, 1978, only 6 fundamental rights remain. Property, legal right. Still in Part 3, Articles 12 to 35. Enforceable by Supreme Court, Art 32, and High Courts, Art 226. Keywords to memorize, Part 3. Magna Carta of India, Art 14 to 18. Equality, Art 19 to 22. Freedom, Art 23 to 24. Against exploitation, Art 25 to 28. Religion, Art 29 to 30. Culture and education, Art 32. Remedies, Heart and Soul, Art 31, deleted. Property, now Art 300A. This one-page sheet has all names, articles, keywords, amendment fact, and examples of each. Ideal for last-minute exam revision. Would you like me to also make this into a color-coded infographic visual chart with boxes, icons, and arrows so you can memorize even faster? Perfect. Let's create the world's one-page crisp cheat sheet on the features of fundamental rights. This will be short, sharp, and just bullets plus keywords, no extra fluff, but nothing important. You revise in 2 minutes before exams. Cheat sheet, features of fundamental rights. Part 3, Articles 12 to 35. 1. Availability, some citizens only, e.g. Art 15, 16, 19, 29, 30. Others, all persons, citizens, foreigners, legal persons like companies. Example, right to equality, right to life. 2. Not absolute but qualified. Rights unlimited. Reasonable restrictions imposed by state. Courts decide reasonableness, balance, individual liberty, social control. 3. Against whom? Primarily against states' arbitrary actions, some also against private individuals. Example, right against untouchability, Art 17, right against exploitation, Art 23. 4. Nature, 2 types. Negative rights limit state power, e.g. no discrimination, no arbitrary arrest. Positive rights, state must act give, e.g. free education for children, cultural rights. Justiciability, enforceable in court. Rights are justiciable. If violated, person can move courts. Art 32 equals SC, Art 226 equals HC. Judicial review. Courts ensure rights are protected. Keywords for quick recall. Citizens versus all, not absolute. Reasonable restrictions. Against state, sometimes private too. Negative, don't do, versus positive, do this. Justiciable. Courts can enforce. That's the crispest one-page note. Revise this once before exams and you'll recall the full explanation. Do you want me to also design this as a visual revision chart, flowchart, mind map style, so you can see the whole thing at a glance? Perfect. Let's make the world's best cheat sheet for this part. Features of fundamental rights, points 6 to 9. I'll keep it super crisp, one-page style, with bullets, keywords, articles, cases, examples, and key dates so you can revise in a few minutes before exams. Hash fundamental rights, features 6 to 9, ultra crisp cheat sheet. Number 6, defended and guaranteed by Supreme Court. Article 32, right to constitutional remedies. Dr. Ambedkar, heart and soul of Constitution. Supreme Court equals guardian of fundamental rights. Aggrieved person whose right is violated can directly go to SC, no need for High Court appeal. Remedies, writs, habeas corpus, release from illegal detention. Mandamus, order to perform duty. Prohibition, stop illegal action of lower court. Certiorari, transfer cancel order of lower court. Quo warranto, challenge illegal occupation of public post. Case L, Chandra Kumar, 1997. Judicial review is part of basic structure. Number 7. Not sacrosanct, permanent. Parliament can change, curtail, or repeal FRs only via constitutional amendment, Art. 368, not ordinary law. Basic structure doctrine, Kesavananda Bharati v. State of Kerala, 1973. Parliament cannot destroy core features, democracy, rule of law, judicial review, federalism. Example, right to property, Art. 31. Removed from FRs by 44th Amendment, 1978. Now only a legal right, Art. 300A. 8. Suspension during national emergency. Article 352, national emergency, war, external aggression, armed rebellion, general rule, FRs can be suspended. Exception, Articles 20 and 21, life and liberty protections, cannot be suspended, 44th Amendment, 1978. Article 19 rights, 6 freedoms, suspended only in war, external aggression, not in armed rebellion. Articles 358 and 359 specify suspension rules. Case ADM Jabalpur, 1976, during emergency, SC failed to protect liberty, later overruled. 9. Limits on operation. Article 31A protects land reform and estate acquisition laws from FR challenge. Article 31B and 9th Schedule, laws placed in 9th Schedule protected from FR review. Limit IR. Coelho case, 2007. Laws added after 24th April 1973. Kesavananda date can be reviewed if they violate basic structure. Article 31C, laws implementing directive principles, Arts 39B, 39C, protected from FR challenge, but cannot be extended to all directive principles, SC and Kesavananda, 1973. Pack quick keywords for revision. Art 32, heart and soul Ambedkar. Kesavananda, 1973. Basic structure, 44th Amendment, 1978. Art 20 and 21 never suspended. Right to property downgraded. Art 358. Suspension of Art 19 during external emergency only. Art 359. Court enforcement of FRs suspended, except 20 and 21. Art 31A, land reform safe. Art 31B, 9th Schedule shield. Art 31C, DPSP's shield, 39B, 39C. IR Coelho, 2007. 9th Schedule laws reviewable after 1973. That's your one-page, all-in-one crisp revision sheet. Nothing important is missing. You have articles, cases, amendments, keywords, and examples for instant recall. Would you like me to also make a visual memory map, mind map style diagram of these 4 points so you can see all connections in one glance before exams? Perfect. Let's compress everything into a one-page, high-speed revision cheat sheet. It'll be crisp, bullet style with keywords, dates, and cases. No fluff, only essentials. Fundamental rights. Limits under Articles 31A, 31B, 31C. Article 31A, raincoat for land and economic laws. Purpose, save certain reform laws from being struck down for violating Art 14, equality, or Art 19, freedoms. Covers 5 areas. 1. Land reforms, acquisition of estates' rights. 2. Temporary takeover of mismanaged undertakings. 3. Amalgamation of companies in public interest. 4. Changes to directors' shareholders' rights. 5. Changes to mining oil leases. Conditions, state laws, president's assent needed. Personal cultivation land within ceiling, market value compensation. Example, zamindari abolition, land redistribution. Article 31B plus 9th Schedule, vault. Purpose, any law placed in 9th Schedule is shielded from being void for violating FRs. Introduced, First Constitutional Amendment, 1951. Judicial timeline, pre-24 April 1973, Kesavananda, safe inside vault. Post-1973, not automatic, subject to basic structure test. Key cases: Waman Rao, 1981, cutoff 24 April 1973. IR Koyo, 2007, Ninth Schedule Laws, post-1973, reviewable for basic structure violation. Example: Land Reform Acts placed in Ninth Schedule for protection. Article 31C, Shield, for directive principles. Original, 25th Amendment, 1971, protected laws made to implement Art 39B and 39C. 39B, distribute material resources to serve common good. 39C, prevent concentration of wealth and economic power. 42nd Amendment, 1976, tried to expand to all DPSPs. Minerva Mills, 1980, expansion struck down. Today only 39B and 39C remain. Condition: state law needs president's assent. Example: anti-monopoly law, nationalization of mines. Key takeaways: 31A equals raincoat, protects land and economic reform laws. 31B, vault, Ninth Schedule laws shielded, but post-1973 subject to basic structure. 31C equals shield only for laws under 39B and C, resource sharing and anti-monopoly. President's assent required for state laws under 31A and 31C. Landmark cases: Kesavananda Bharati, 1973, basic structure. Waman Rao, 1981, cutoff date for Ninth Schedule. IR Coelho, 2007, review of Ninth Schedule laws post-1973. Minerva Mills, 1980, 31C limited to 39B and C. Exam tip: umbrella, fundamental rights, raincoat, 31A, land reforms. Vault, 31B, Ninth Schedule, pre-1973 safe, post-1973 reviewable. Shield, 31C, only 39B, 39C. Would you like me to make this visual one-page chart diagram flow style so you can literally revise it in 30 seconds before exam? Perfect. Here's your world's best one-page cheat sheet for fundamental rights features, Articles 33, 34, 35, points 10 to 12. It is super crisp, exam-friendly, and contains keywords plus articles plus short examples. Nothing important is missed. Fundamental rights, special features, Articles 33, 34, 35. Article 33, restrictions on armed forces, police, etc. Who? Armed forces, paramilitary forces, police, intelligence agencies, analogous services. What? Parliament can restrict, limit, or abrogate, take away their fundamental rights. Why? To maintain discipline, security, secrecy, efficiency. Who decides? Only Parliament, not state legislatures. Example: soldiers cannot form trade unions or go on strike. Keyword: discipline and security, rights curtailed. Article 34, martial law. Meaning: military rule imposed in an area under abnormal circumstances, breakdown of order. Effect: fundamental rights in that area can be restricted. Power: Parliament can indemnify, protect military actions during martial law. Different from national emergency, Article 352. Martial law equals local army rules. National emergencies, nationwide, civil gov still runs extra central powers. Example: if riots are uncontrollable in a city, army may take charge temporarily. Some rights, e.g. free movement, may be suspended. Keyword: army rule, national emergency. Article 35, laws to give effect to fundamental rights. Directly enforceable rights. Most rights are self-executory, can go to court directly. Rights needing law. Some require Parliament to pass enabling law to make them work. Only Parliament can make such laws, ensures uniformity across India. Example: self-executory. Right to equality, go to court directly if discriminated. Needs law. Right to education. RT. 21A, made real by RTE Act 2009. Keyword: Parliament makes enabling laws for uniformity. Ultra-short exam crib. Art 33, rights restricted, removed for armed and police, discipline, security. Art 34, martial law equals army rule in crisis, rights restricted, not same as emergency. Art 35, Parliament alone makes enabling laws uniformity, e.g. RTE Act 2009. Would you like me to now make a visual flowchart mind map style revision sheet like arrows, boxes, so you can glance at it in 30 seconds before exam? Perfect. Here's your world's best one-page cheat sheet for Article 12, definition of state. It's super crisp, exam ready, with bullets plus articles plus cases, years, keywords. Nothing important is missed. Hack Article 12 definition of state cheat sheet. What Article 12 says applies only for Part 3, fundamental rights. State includes A, Union Gov and Parliament, Executive plus Legislature of India. B. State govts and legislatures, executive plus legislature of states. C. Local authorities, municipalities, panchayats, district boards, improvement trusts, etc. D. Other authorities, statutory and non-statutory bodies, like ONGC, SAIL, etc. Purpose: to hold all govt agencies accountable for FR violations. Why important? Fundamental rights, protection against the state. To sue, must prove the body is state under Art 12. Tests by Supreme Court. 1. Sukhdev Singh v. Bhagatram, 1975. Statutory corporations. ONGC IFCI equals state. Keyword: public corporations, state. Hasher 2. Ajay Hasia v. Khalib, 1981. 6-factor functional test. Govt ownership of shares. 2. Govt financing. 3. Monopoly status given by govt. 4. Deep govt control. 5. Public functions performed. 6. Created by law, statutory powers. Keyword: govt control, public function equals state. 3. Pradeep Kumar Biswas v. IUCB 2002, 7-judge bench. No rigid formula, must check overall facts, ownerships, controls, function, funding. Keyword: functional and pervasive govt control equals state. Now 4. BCCI case 2015. BCCI equals not state, autonomous body, but performs public functions, so answerable under writs for fairness. Keyword: not every powerful body equals state. Practical examples: state, union govt, state govt, municipal corp, LIC, ONGC, IITs, nationalized banks. Not state, normally, private companies, NGOs, religious bodies. Maybe state, if conditions met. Private bodies doing public functions with gov control, e.g. aided institutions. Exam keywords, quick recall. Art 12, state definition, part 3. Art 13, laws inconsistent with FRs equals void. Sukhdev Singh, 1975, statutory cores equals state. Ajay Hasia, 1981, 6-factor functional test. Pradeep Biswas, 2002, fact-based test, govt control plus function. BCCI, 2015, not state, but writs allowed for fairness. That's your crisp one-page revision sheet for Article 12. With this, you can recall definition, scope, cases, keywords, and examples in 2 to 3 minutes. Do you want me to also make a visual memory map, flowchart with arrows boxes, showing the tests, Ajay Hasia Biswas, so you can see in 30 seconds how judges decide if something is state? Perfect. Here's your world's best one-page cheat sheet for Article 13, laws inconsistent with fundamental rights. It is super crisp, exam-ready, with keywords, cases, dates, examples. Nothing important is missed. At Article 13, laws inconsistent with fundamental rights. Core principle. Art 13.1. Pre-Constitution laws inconsistent with FRs, void to extent of inconsistency. Art 13.2. State cannot make laws violating FRs. If made, void. Art 13.3. Law equals very wide meaning. Art 13.4. Constitutional amendment, law, but SC evolved basic structure check. Keyword: no law, Constitution. * judicial review, power of Supreme Court, 32, and High Courts, Art 226. Can declare law unconstitutional plus invalid if it violates FRs. Judicial review was heart of Constitution. Keyword: court equals guardian of rights. Meaning of law under Art 13. 1. Permanent laws, acts of parliament, state legislatures, e.g. IPC. 2. Temporary laws, ordinances, president, governor. 3. Delegated legislation, orders, rules, bylaws, notifications. 4. Customs usages, if they have force of law, e.g. religious traditional practices. Keyword: law equals acts plus ordinances, rules, customs. Constitutional amendments and FRs. Initially, not law, cannot be challenged under Art 13. Kesavananda Bharati v. State of Kerala, 1973. Constitutional amendments valid only if they don't damage basic structure. Basic structure includes supremacy of constitution, judicial review, FARs, rule of law, democracy, secularism, separation of powers, etc. Keyword: amendments destroy basic structure. Key cases: Kesavananda Bharati, 1973, Basic Structure Doctrine. I.R. Coelho v. State of Tamil Nadu, 2007, Laws in Ninth Schedule, after 24th or April 1973, reviewable if violate basic structure. Minerva Mills v. Union of India, 1980, Limited Amending Power, FRs plus DPSP's balance. Simple examples: law says only men can vote, void violates equality, Art 14. Ordinance says no protests allowed, void violates free speech, Art 19. Custom says women can't enter temple, can be void, violates equality, Art 14 and 15. Amendment says no elections, PM for life, void, violates democracy, basic structure. Super quick recap keywords. Art 13 will shield judicial review. SC and HC, law, acts, ordinances, rules, customs. Kesavananda 1973. Basic structure, Coelho 2007. Ninth schedule check, Minerva Mills 1980. Balance FRs and DPSPs. With this, you can revise Article 13 in 3 minutes before exam. Would you like me to also make a visual flowchart, one-glance map, showing law, court check, void if violates FR, exception, constitutional amendment, basic structure test? Perfect. Here's your world's best one-page cheat sheet for Article 14, equality before law and equal protection of laws. It is super crisp, exam ready, with keywords plus cases, examples, so you can revise in 2 minutes before exam. Article 14, Equality before law and equal protection of laws, cheat sheet. Text of Article 14. The state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or the equal protection of the laws within the territory of India. Applies to all persons, citizens plus foreigners, legal persons like companies. 2 Principles 1. Equality before law, British concept. No special privileges. Everyone under same law and same courts. Nobody above law, rich, poor, official, non-official. 2. Equal protection of laws, American concept. Same treatment in similar circumstances. Laws must apply fairly and equally. Keyword, same law, same protection. Scope, protects against the state, Art 12. Covers law of T actions. Person equals citizens, foreigners, companies, societies. Reasonable classification allowed if 1. Intelligible differentia, clear difference between groups. 2. Rational nexus. Difference must relate to law's purpose. Examples, children versus adults, age-based rules. Luxury cars taxed more, income-based. Arbitrariness, arbitrary, whimsical govt action equals violation of Art 14. Case, E.P. Royappa v. State of TN, 1974, equality equals antithesis of arbitrariness. Key cases, A.K. Gopalan v. State of Madras, 1950, narrow view of equality, later overruled. E.P. Royappa v. State of TN, 1974, arbitrariness equals violation of Art 14. Maneka Gandhi v. Union of India, 1978, expanded scope of equality plus fairness. Indira Sawhney, 1992, reservations upheld as reasonable classification. Practical examples, law, only men can vote, violates Art 14. Law, children below 14 can't work in factories, valid classification. Govt punishes one student for late coming but ignores others, arbitrary, violates Art 14. Quick memory keywords. Equality before law, no one above law. Equal protection, same protection in same situation. Reasonable classification, allowed if logical. Arbitrariness, prohibited. Key cases, Royappa 1974, Maneka Gandhi 1978, Indira Sawhney 1992. With this page, you can revise Article 14 fully in 3 minutes. Would you like me to now make a visual flowchart/diagram, boxes, arrows, showing the decision steps courts use? Is it classification? Is it intelligible, rational nexus, arbitrary, so you can glance and instantly recall in exams? Perfect. Here's the world's best exam-ready cheat sheet for the part you gave me. Equal protection, positive concept, reasonable classification, and Article 14 tests. It's super crisp, all keywords, no fluff, no miss, so you can revise in 2 minutes before exam. Article 14, equal protection and reasonable classification. Hanak. Article 14, core rule. States shall not deny equality before law, equal protection of laws. Applies to all persons, citizens plus foreigners plus legal persons. 2 concepts, equality before law, negative British, no special privileges, nobody above law. Equal protection of laws, positive American, same treatment in same circumstances, like treated alike, no unfair discrimination. Equal privilege liabilities. Negative versus positive equals stop favoritism, don't give special rights. Positive equals ensure fairness, apply laws equally and protect equally. Art 14 allows, forbids, class legislation, arbitrary division. Permits, reasonable classification if 1. Intelligible differentia, clear and sensible basis for grouping. 2. Rational nexus, grouping must relate to law's purpose. Arbitrariness, arbitrariness equals opposite of equality. Govt action must be just, fair, reasonable. Arbitrary, violative of Art 14. Key cases, State of WBV, Anwar Ali Sarkar, 1952, laid test of reasonable classification. E.P. Royappa, 1973-74, arbitrariness equals violation of Art 14. Maneka Gandhi, 1978, expanded scope, laws must be fair, just, non-arbitrary. Indrasani, 1992. Reservations valid as reasonable classification. Set 50% limit. Chat practical examples. Different age groups. Children 14 cannot work in factories. Taxing luxury goods more. Law. Only men can vote. Arbitrary. Govt finds only poor riders without helmets. Ignores rich. Arbitrary. Quick memory keywords. Equality before law. No favors. Equal protection. Like treated alike. Reasonable classification. Intelligible differentia plus rational nexus. No class legislation. No arbitrary groups. No arbitrariness. State action must be fair. With this one page, you can revise the whole doctrine of equal protection and reasonable classification in 2 to 3 minutes flat. Do you want me to now make a visual memory flowchart? Boxes and arrows? Same situation? Classification? Differentia? Nexus? Arbitrariness? So you can recall the test instantly in exams? Perfect. I'll now make you a crisp one-page cheat sheet of rule of law, Dicey plus Indian system. It will be short, bullet-style, exam-ready, but still complete, no important point missing. HAPC, Rule of Law, Cheat Sheet, Exam Quick Notes. Concept, Rule of Law equals law rules the country, not personal whims of rulers. Propounded by A.V. Dicey, British jurist, 19th century. Ensures fairness, equality, and no arbitrary power. Dicey's 3 elements. 1. Absence of arbitrary power. No one can be punished except for breach of law. Protects against unfair, whimsical actions of govt. 2. Equality before law, EBL. Equal subjection of all persons, rich, poor, high, low, official, non-official. Same ordinary law applies through ordinary courts. 3. Primacy of individual rights. In Britain, rights come from judges in common law. Constitution, result of rights recognized by courts. Application in India, first and second elements apply. No arbitrariness, equality before law, Article 14. Third element, not applicable. In India, Constitution itself is the source of rights. Article 14 guarantees equality before law and equal protection of laws. Supreme Court on Rule of Law. Kesavananda Bharati case, 1973, introduced basic structure doctrine. Rule of law equals part of basic structure cannot be destroyed even by a constitutional amendment. Indira Gandhi v. Raj Narayan, 1975, law reaffirmed as basic feature. Keyword, rule of law, law above all. A.V. Dicey, British jurist, 3 elements. Absence of arbitrary power, no punishment without law. Equality before law, EBL. Everyone equal, ordinary courts. Primacy, rights of courts, Britain via Constitution, India. Article 14, core of rule of law in India. Basic structure doctrine, Kesavananda case, 1973. Supreme Court, guardian of rule of law. This is your revision at a glance page. Keywords plus cases plus articles, who said what. Would you like me to also design this in a visual one-page infographic style, like a colorful chart for memory? That way, you can recall it in seconds during exams. Perfect. Here's a world-class, exam-ready one-page cheat sheet combining rule of law plus exceptions to before law. It's crisp, bullet-wise, includes keywords, articles, and tiny examples for quick revision. Rule of law and exceptions to equality, one-page cheat sheet. Rule of law, Dicey's India. Concept, law rules the land, not personal whims. Propounded by A.V. Dicey, British jurist, 19th century. Dicey's 3 elements. 1. Absence of arbitrary power, no one punished without breaking law. Example, police cannot arrest someone without legal reason. 2. Equality before law, EBL. Everyone, rich, poor, high, low, treated equally by ordinary law and ordinary courts. Example, minister and shopkeeper fined same for speeding. 3. Primacy of individual rights. In Britain, rights come from judges, common law. India's adaptation, and apply. Does not. In India, Constitution itself gives fundamental rights. Article 14, equality before law and equal protection of laws. Supreme Court, Kesavananda Bharati case, 1973. Rule of law equals basic structure cannot be destroyed by amendments. Protects citizens from arbitrary state action. Keywords, rule of law, Dicey, Article 14, absence of arbitrary power, equality before law, basic structure doctrine, Supreme Court. Exceptions to equality before law. Main idea, equality is not absolute. Some constitutional and legal exceptions exist. A. President and Governor, Article 361. I. Official acts, not answerable to courts for exercising duties. I. Criminal immunity. No criminal case can be started or continued during term. I. Arrest imprisonment. No court can order arrest during term. IV. Civil immunity. Cannot be sued for personal acts before or after office until 2 months after notice. Example, President cannot be jailed or sued for official acts while in office. B. Media reporting Parliament state, Article 361A. Protection. No civil criminal liability for publishing substantially true reports of proceedings. Purpose. Ensures free and fair reporting, democracy protection. Example, newspaper reports MP speeches cannot be sued if report is basically true. Quick memory keywords, points. Rule of law. Law, men, dicey 3 elements. Article 14, basic structure. Exceptions. Article 3, President-Governor immunity. Article 361A, media immunity. Supreme Court cases. Kesavananda Bharati 1973. Indira Gandhi vs. Rajnarain 1975. Core idea. Equality is default. Some exceptions exist for smooth governance and democracy. Tiny story example to remember. President equals king. Cannot be jailed or sued while ruling. Media equals storyteller, cannot be punished for telling truth about Parliament. Law rules, personal whims, rule of law exceptions maintain fairness and democracy. 1-minute revision tip. Article 14, equality. Article 361, President-Governor immunities. Article 361 Nat A, media immunity. Kesavananda, rule of law equals basic structure. I can also make a colorful, visually attractive infographic cheat sheet of this page with icons, arrows, and mini examples, so you can memorize it in 30 seconds before exams. Do you want me to do that next? Absolutely. Here's a super crisp, 1-page cheat sheet for quick revision. I've included all important points, keywords, examples, and concise explanations, perfect for exams. Hack cheat sheet. Special legal immunities and exceptions in India. Parliamentary privilege, Article 105. Who MPs? Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Protection. Cannot be punished in courts for anything said in Parliament, any vote given, applies in Parliament and its committees. Keyword. Parliamentary privilege. Example, MP criticizes PM, safe. State legislature privilege, Article 194. Who MLAs, MLCs. Protection. Cannot be punished in courts for speech in assembly, voting on bills, applies in assembly and committees. Keyword, legislature privilege. Example, MLA votes for free books law, safe. Article 31C, exception to equality, Article 14. Purpose, protect laws helping weaker sections. Where used, laws implementing Article 39B and 39C, 39B, reduce unequal wealth distribution. 39C, ensure fair access to resources. Effect, courts cannot strike down these laws under Article 15. SC principle, where Article 31C comes in, Article 14 goes out. Example, law gives land from rich to poor allowed. Immunity of foreign sovereigns and diplomats. Who? Foreign rulers, presidents, PMs, ambassadors and diplomats. Protection. Cannot face criminal or civil cases in India. Keyword, diplomatic immunity. Example, U.S. President visiting India cannot be sued. UNO and its agencies. Who? UN, UNICEF, WHO, UNHCR, etc. Protection. Diplomatic immunity for official work. Keyword, UN immunity. Example, UNICEF officer in India cannot be punished. Quick memory tips. Parliament and state. Speech and vote safe. Article 31C. Poor and weak. Equality rule may not apply. Foreign UN. Official work, courts cannot touch. Must-read keywords. Parliamentary privilege, legislature privilege, Article 31C, Article 14, Article 39, B-C, diplomatic immunity, UNO agencies. If you want, I can convert this into a visually stunning exam-ready 1-page PDF diagram with color codes, icons, and boxes, so it's super easy to remember at a glance. Do you want me to make that next?
Perfect. You want the world's best 1-page cheat sheet for Article 15, prohibition of discrimination grounds, crisp exam-ready bullets, clauses and examples. Here it is. Article 15, prohibition of discrimination on certain grounds cheat sheet. Keywords, grounds, religion, race, caste, place of birth. Discrimination equals adverse distinction, unfavorable treatment. Only equals sole main reason matters. State equals govt, central, state, local bodies, govt authorities. Clauses breakdown. 15.1. State cannot discriminate against citizens only on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth. Example, govt scholarship denied due to caste violation. Both state and private persons cannot discriminate in shops, public restaurants, hotels, public entertainment, wells, tanks, bathing ghats, roads, public resorts maintained by state funds or open to general public. Example, hotel refuses room, no Muslims, violation. 15.3. State may make special provisions for women and children, e.g. maternity benefits, women-only hostels. 15.4. State may make special provisions for socially and educationally backward class EBCs, SCs and STs, e.g. reservations, scholarships. 5. State may reserve seats in educational institutions, including private except minority institutions. 15.6, 2019 to 103rd Amendment, up to 10% EDOS reservation in education and public jobs for economically weaker sections, non-SC OBC, upheld in Supreme Court 2022. Key judicial developments. State of Madras v. Champakam Dorarajan, 1951, led to First Amendment Aveling 4, reservations. Indra Sawhney, 1992, reservations 50%, creamy layer principle. Navtej Johar, 2018, sex includes sexual orientation. Nalsa, 2014, sex includes gender identity, transgender rights. Litton Cole Nitisha, 2021, recognized indirect discrimination. Clash core principles. Direct discrimination equals clear exclusion, e.g. no Dalits. Indirect discrimination equals rule looks neutral but hurts a group more, e.g. no long hair rule affecting Sikhs. Positive action allowed, helping disadvantaged groups, violation. Quick examples. Gov denies exam form to women, 15-1 violation. Restaurant refuses Dalits, 15-2 violation. Women-only scholarships, 15-3 allowed. College seats reserved for SC, ST, OBC, 15-5 allowed. 10% quota for poor, EWS, 15-6 allowed. Now memory hook RCSP equals religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth. In short, 15.1. Gov cannot discriminate. 15.2. Neither Gov nor private places open to public can discriminate. 15.3 to 6. Gov can give positive help, women, children, SEBC, ST, OBC, EWS. That's your one-page crisp revision sheet for Article 15, concise, exam-ready, and nothing important missed. Do you want me to also make a visual diagram flowchart version of this cheat sheet, like a mind map, so you can revise even faster?